What is going on, guys? Zip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting the ace match between Evil Geniuses EG.Idra and TSL.Inori. We are on Tal'Darim altar now, which means it can be relatively hard for the Zerg player to take his third base. You have this base way down here. You have this base that he could take, which is very close to Inori, so you can cancel this one on out. If EG.Idra did spawn in cross positions, then he could be taking this one or this one. So since they spawn on both the left side of the map, this possible expansion is out of the equation. He can take the hatch right here, take out the rocks, and then use this as a macro hatch, but it's just generally hard to go on a third base. You probably get my gist by now, so we will see exactly how EG.Idra does play this one out. I am very interested because this is one of those maps that 12-minute max out roach timing is relatively hard to hit. And also, Void Rays can be pretty darn effective on this map. I think Inori used his Stargate play on the wrong map. This one I think the Stargate play is much more effective on. We'll see exactly what he ends up doing and how he is going to be hiding his build, because I love watching Inori play despite what hate he's got by EG.Idra for, I think you guys know, for being a quote-unquote cheesy player by hiding his two-base build. Does a very good job at hiding it. Makes it so hard to scout him. Making that mistake last game, getting his Stargate scouted, that may have costed it. But we'll see what Inori ends up doing and how he'll try to hide his build next. And he is going to be trying to block this one natural, and this is definitely a good thing to do because there's no other base that EG.Idra can be taking. On the last map, you saw EG.Idra just immediately come out with 2 drones, and as that did get blocked off, EG.Idra just kind of sent the drone to take another base because he was going to be taking that anyways. On this map, I don't think EG.Idra wants to go on a very fast third base as he's only sending 1 drone down here. And is he gonna get that hatch? He may be able to sneak it in now, and there we go. EG.Idra does end up sneaking it in. Inori going a little bit too far. Now EG.Idra pulling off 2 drones. Gonna be trying to scare that 1 probe away. I don't know why he pulled 2, but I don't know. You can't really explain the Kraken at times. We do have the Nexus first out of Inori. Gonna be going into the Forge Gateway. And then Cannon. Let me just make sure. 51. Yep. So it's Nexus, Forge, Gateway, Pylon, and then the the first cannon will be coming out. And EG.Idra does see, okay, it is going to be a Forge, then a Gateway, then a cannon. So if it's not going to be like Stargate play, he should expect Warp Gates to finish around 7 minutes. And he should expect the first push to be at his doorstep, attacking him around 7:10 to 7:15. And this 1 probe just waiting right here to see if EG.Idra ends up trying to take this 1 base out. We'll see what EG.Idra ends up doing. 2 base Infester does work on this map. You can do 2 base Mutalisk. I wouldn't recommend it. You'd really need to get on gases number 5 and 6. Yeah, 5 and 6. To make Mutaplay effective nowadays in PvZ, just because Protoss has learned how to deal with Mutas. So we'll see exactly what does end up happening. The probe going to be going down to try to check out the 3rd base, and not seeing this, now he knows if EG.Idra does take a base after the 5-minute mark, the Stargate play will be able to force cancel it. So now he knows EG.Idra is going to be doing some type of 2-base tech, unless EG.Idra wants to risk losing to Stargate play. It is the ace match, so I don't think EG.Idra is going to be taking a risk like that. So we'll see 2-base play out of EG.Idra and see exactly what he ends up doing. Probe wants to come in. He mainly wants to see these gases. If these are taken, then it is Mutalisks. And he is going to be backing off as he sees the Queen. Wants to double check this 1 area. Doesn't see any hatch at those rocks. Doesn't see the rocks being taken down. So he knows there's not extra lings out of the map, because if there were extra lings, they would be there attacking those rocks. And now it looks like he is going to be moving out with the Zealot. So he's not really too concerned about the gas at the natural yet. We don't have the lair started. The Evo chamber going to be being built before the Roach Warren. And that was a little bit of an odd move. We'll see what he ends up doing out of that Evo chamber. Is he going to go with some of that heavily upgrade Ling style that I've seen Damaga be using? That is a possibility. We do have his Overlord just on that high ground, keeping an eye on the Chrono Boost. Can see now finally the Forge being upgraded, so he knows about the Gateway research. And holy gates. Inori is just building a lot in the back. He is going up to 7 gate, but Idra this time going to be seeing that one forge with the upgrade. Doesn't worry about these gases, hasn't even tried to see those. Well, you can see that one gas up there. And Inori still just at... This is going to be a heavy on the Zealot. This could be like a Zealot dance party build. This is definitely a heavy on Zealot, staying at 1 gas still. And Idra does have a bunch of spine crawlers up. What does he see? Nothing. Maybe he saw units moving out and he just knows what is happening. Takes out the 1 probe. The pylon does complete. We do have Lings with +1 armor. So that's going to be negating that +1 Zealot attack. So it's going to mean the Zealots take 3 shots to kill Lings again instead of the 2 shots. Inori going to be coming in here with his lot of Zealots. And with the Queens and Lings, gets a surround on within range of those spine crawlers. And these Zealots are now going to be falling. And generally with this, when someone does like this mass Zealot, you gotta be wondering, okay, you just used, let's see, a lot of minerals and you're not using much gas. Where is your gas at? Inori just not taking his gas. Idra, of course, doesn't know that, so he may be thinking there's some type of tech follow-up. But Inori, he's just now starting to get his gas in this. This is definitely a little bit quirky of a build. Idra is getting that Spire up. Does have gases number 3 and 4 working. And I don't know if I agree with that because, again, you may think there's a lot of tech coming up. If I saw that many Zealots, I'd be thinking, okay, you are doing something in the back there that's highly in the tech. Maybe Idra's thinking it's Colossus play, which spot Mutos Ling will beat. I don't know what he thinks it is. The Lings are going to be coming. And if he came up here, that may be a mistake by Idra. He probably should send at least 1 Ling in a suicide mission to see if there's any sentries or try to get the unit count at the doorstep. But he is just concerned, going to be taking a double expand, it looks like, as this pylon does go down. And he will take out these rocks following that, most likely. The Spire does complete. Idra doing a much better job on his injects this game. No 20-second inject gap, but Idra not really sacrificing his injects to do other things. And the probe is going to be going down to this handful of Lings. Idra just taking map control, looking for any type of ninja things that could be going on around the map. The Ling staying right here. Maybe he's waiting for a counterattack. If it was a counterattack, though, I'd assume they'd be waiting down in that position. So we'll see exactly what Idra's game plan is. He does have the mutas already out on the way to Inori's base. Inori still just has a lot of Zealots, and he is going to be going up to a relatively fast Templar. So it is going to now be Charge Lot Urkon, I believe. After this blink does finish, Inori is getting blink. I don't know if he's seen the mutas yet, but it is a good call to get that blink. He is in position to deal with mutas, so he knows, okay, it's most likely going to be muta. I don't know how he knows that. He just does. Idra now going to be taking bases way over here. That is such a smart call, because if Inori wants to beat this muta, there's a good chance he's going to all in and just go straight up the middle. If he does that, and Idra's bases all clumped together, then he loses the game. If he has bases spread around the map, these mutas have a lot of time to kill off this entire base, and then Idra can just be expanding around where these stalkers are at, just going on the opposite side of the map, and can draw out the game, allowing his mutas to take out all the buildings. And each time he builds more and more spine crawlers, but we will be seeing Storm now. This is definitely a really odd build from Inori. I thought he was going to go like an Urkon based route, but he is getting Storm up. Maybe it is to deal with these mutas. We'll see how good he is at storming mutas. But Idra, he is very good at dealing with high Templars. Generally pulls off, I think it's 4 mutas he pulls off to deal with high Templars. I think high Templars have 80 health, or maybe he's 3. Yeah, 80 health. So he pulls off about 4 mutas. So he can kill those Templars off in 2 volleys without risking being killed by a storm. You can see these Urkons have 0-0 on their armor, 0 shields. These mutas do 10 damage, so it only takes 4 mutas to 2 volley a High Templar. And with all of these, he does risk getting the storms laid down on. There goes one storm, and that is what Inori has to do. Idra, he is not capable of dealing with storms, but he is going up on 4 base to 2 base. So he'll be able to build a unit composition that is, but storms just absolutely demolish both Lings and Muta. So we do see Idra getting a Roach Warren, just so his units are no longer going to be like paper airplanes. Does take out the pylon, which is supply capping Inori. Inori has 4 pylons almost done, with the 5th one now just starting, and these Lings and Mutas just bouncing back, but Inori keeps a lot of Zealots down here to protect this base, and the Stalkers in his main natural area to protect that base. Idra's Lings are at 1-0. Storm does go down, but whiffs. There is +2 armor by those Zealots, so they do go back to 2-shotting those Lings instead of 3-shotting them. Now those Mutas do want to come in. Kind of sitting idle there. The Stalkers do come. Idra just sending out a few Lings trying to snipe these High Templars, but Inori is not letting it. However, going to this worker count is 78 drones to 61 probes. The 3rd base looks like it could be going up, and it will be 3 base Protoss to a 4 base Zerg, and this game still could go either way in that situation. We do have a lot of Lings and Roaches out for Idra, but I don't know if that is going to be enough. Inori's army, relatively big. Idra is at 116 supply. Inori, 98 supply. Inori does have the upgrade advantage, I believe. Those Roaches just at 1-0. Gonna be, no, 0-1. Gonna be at 0-2. Those Lings are gonna be at 0-2 as well. Actually, the Roach is gonna be at 1-2. He has almost done that missile upgrade. But these Storms, that could be brutal. This one Templar can do 2 Storms. Those Lings, if he gets them down, misses that one almost completely. And there we go. That was a good one on a lot of the Roaches of Idra. Idra, though, does have Burrow. Those cannons did get canceled, so he can do Burrow Micro, heal up his Roaches. And there it goes, healing them up. And now he can be getting away. We don't have a Robo facility anywhere. At the same time, he burrows those Roaches so he can forget about them. Comes in with those Mutas and gets 16 worker kills. Now 56 probes to the 76 drones. Gonna be going back in here with the Roaches, now just gonna be burrowing them again, so he doesn't have to worry about them, and he can come back in with his Mutas, pick off 3 Stalkers, and gonna just get out of there. So as those get out, these unburrow and now move out of the way. As observers could be coming out, Idra at the same time is taking another base, and does have a decent creep spread coming on. Hive has started, Pathogen Glands is almost done. A beautiful storm by Inori. There's Roaches down in the upgrades. I would say +3, just about done. There goes another big burrow. Idra picks off that cannon, and now he is going to be getting out of there. With all the burrow play he is using, I think Tunneling Claws may be a good option. Mutas want to engage Stalkers and low numbers, picks off 1. Now they should be getting out of there. Going to be starting to lose his Mutas. Blink does go down. No, he's going to be trying to pick off as many as he can. Nice blinks from Inori, though. Keeping both those Stalkers alive, 8 HP and 16 HP. This Stalker could not take another volley. As you do know, the Mutas do 10 damage. He has 2 armor, so he could not have taken another volley. Those Roaches going to be going down. Idra trying to be as effective with them as possible. Unburrowing, picking up High Templars? Did he just do that? There are no more High Templars out on the field? No, there's one. So he was unburrowing those Roaches, picking off a High Templar, and then burrowing back. Very nice play by Idra. I did not even notice that. I thought they were Zealots at first. I thought he was just trying to be cute, but no. He was picking off all the High Templars. That is like from Dunes, and the Roaches are now worms coming up from the ground, snatching the High Templar, and then going back in. Inori does have a Observer out, but these Roaches, I think, paid for themselves. It is going to be a bad economic trade to lose all of them all, but Idra way ahead in the macro right now. Inori, though, is at 200-200 with Blink, Stalker, Templar, and Immortal. Devastating composition. Idra has a lot of Infestors. 9 Infestors are out on the field. +2 armor is on the way. He is not chrono boosting that right now. 100 energy, 100 energy. I wish I could get away with some sloppy macro mechanics. It's only a Protoss thing that they can just not Chrono Boost and be just fine. So that could be done by now if he was Chrono Boosting. And here we go, big engagement going down. Those Infestors do get off some great fungals. You can see almost every Stalker is hit. These Stalkers in the back, they're not getting hit by roaches. That is pure fungals right there, baby. Those Infestors doing quite a bit. Keeps a lot of them alive still. Now EG.Idra is going to be falling back, letting their spines kill what they can. Infestors still have some energy, not enough to do any fungals. Only lost one Infestor right there, but that is a lot from Inori. Now coming up, EG.Idra does have the Broodlords on the way. 7 morphing. Will EG.Idra get this defense off just in time? Another Fungrowth is going down on those Stalkers. Has enough for one more, but he's saving it so he can chain them up. Storm is going down. There he goes. Get some beautiful feedbacks for Inori. One fungal does happen. 3 feedbacks, though, on those Infestors. These roaches going to be going down. The Broodlords now out as Broodlings are on the field. EG.Idra at 173 supply. Inori at 102. EG.Idra now going to be pushing on ahead. These 3 Infestors, though, overextending. They could be picked on off. But no, they are just going to be laughing. Immortal goes down. Stalkers come back, pick off one of those. Inori seems like he could not get the click on that Infestor. And that was one Hero Immortal just before he dies. Gets that killing blow off on the Infestor. That Overlord's still alive. These 2 mutas don't even know what's going on right now. Their older brothers now coming in to clean up the Protoss. Inori going to be taking his 4th base way down here, but his army, it's not looking nearly as good as EG.Idra's. 127 supply army versus the 69. 5 base Zerg versus 3 base Protoss. Soon to be a 1 mining base. Actually, it is 1 mining base Protoss versus... EG.Idra doesn't have that much econ. 1400? What? I thought he'd have a lot more minerals. But apparently, not. I guess his gas income is really high. As you can see, EG.Idra at 1600 gas, 900 minerals. He can't spend his gas because he's not mining enough minerals. And that is not something you get to see every day. Those Stalkers are getting phone good. This is what Inori has to do. And if EG.Idra loses the game, it's all because of him not being able to get minerals. Inori still has a force which he can do damage. These Broodlords are ever so slow. There are a lot of Infestors, and a big phone growth would be just game-changing at this point. Inori is going to be taking out this base. He doesn't know about the base just above it. And those Infestors going to be getting sniped. Did not expect Inori to have his unit split up. Stalkers blink underneath those Broodlords. Roaches way out of position. Eatbacks going off on those Infestors. Storm going off on the Roaches. But Inori just doesn't have enough. What a beautiful attempt at that engagement. But EG.Idra just had a little too much. Inori is backing off, but it looks like EG.Idra is going to do what Stefano couldn't do. And that is not something I would expect against Inori, just because he is one of those mental Protosses that just gets in your head. And EG.Idra lost the first game after that devastating loss by JYP. He could not have been in a good mindset after losing to JYP when he's actually won the series, then just completely throwing that game away. Or the series away, I should say. Then going up here, getting just one of the weirdest builds thrown at your face, completely caught you blinded, and just took you out. But EG.Idra, recovering his mindset, does look like he is going to be winning this series. Storms go off on these Roaches. And those Infestors thinking the Urkon's just going in that melee distance, saying, yeah, I can eat your feedback. Feedback me. Do it. There goes the GG by Inori. Beautiful game. Game 3, the ace match, was definitely the best game in that series. And I was actually entertained by the game in this series. I heard these games were not that great by someone that was watching them at MLG, but I thought that third game was actually pretty darn cool. And now we can see EG.Idra's true injecting powers at 4.7 seconds. That is short. That is the shortest I have ever seen on Injects. And that is the mechanical Idra we all know and love at 4.7 seconds. Big difference than his game number 2 at 20 seconds. So we can now say that was safely not a mistake. This is him preparing against this Void Rays when he gets to macro like he wants to do. 4.7. I don't even see Stefano anywhere near 4.7. And Damaga, that's exactly what he hits around that area. Game number 1, Idra's at 11.7. So game number 3, Idra was on fire. Going at the end of the game, 22.6, 15.8. So 11 seconds of what he was at 10 minutes in game number 1, he's at 15 minutes. And that's after dealing with aggression. And I think, was that after dealing with aggression? I don't know exactly what Inori opened with that game. Oh yeah, that was after dealing with aggression. That was that huge Zealot Dance Buddy build thing. I don't know if it's actually called Zealot Dance Buddy. I haven't looked at the Zealot Dance Buddy, but I just knew it was, oh my god, that's a lot of Zealots, so that is what we will be calling it. Zealot Dance Buddy, of course, is on Team Liquid. It's created by someone, I forget his name, but yeah, that'll be the cast. Hope you enjoyed the BO3 series. I know the third game was the best, so yeah. Don't forget, if you want to help me, go to sc2cast.com. It's actually in my game. Let's see, let's pull up my game. I actually clicked on my StarCraft, looking at my second monitor, thinking, yeah, I can click StarCraft and it'll just come up over this window. It's right there. Go to that site, find this series, and upvote it. If the series isn't there, you can watch my other games if you haven't. I actually recommend watching a lot of my cast from that site. Of course, still subscribe to me because that helps me tremendously. But if you go to that site to watch them, it's all spoiler-free when I do these best of X's. And since, well, I got a lot of MLG games to cast, there's going to be a lot of casts coming to my channel. So sc2cast.com will definitely, hopefully, put my cast up quickly. Hopefully it'll be next day, so you can watch all this spoiler-free. If not, if you really think it's a pain, then, let me know. You can leave a comment here, tweet at me, or do whatever. My Twitter is IPPSC. That is IPSC as in IP StarCraft. And I will be putting them back in Reddit posts, as you saw I did with the Tasia, making my own spoiler-free page. If you deem that necessary, whatever I can do to make your viewing pleasure better, let me know, and I will be seeing you tomorrow.